Hey everybody, it is Sunday, January 12th, 2025, and this is the first video on this channel of the new year. It's only 12 days in, and it feels like 1,200 years have passed. I hate the month of January. I always have, and I always will. January is the longest month of bullshit. I hope everyone's doing okay. I hope everyone's doing alright. I know in the last video I made, I was going to talk about my seance I did with my mom on the day that she passed over. And I was going to make a year-end video, but I decided to nix that because, one, nobody likes these top 10 lists of the year anymore, and to be honest, the seance video would have been the same stuff that I've talked about in the Mother's Day video and in between, so not as much as it's personal, but more on the lines of repeating myself, and I wanted to spare all of you that. And I was going to do a video on New Year's Day, but I got a little too busy on the Manischewitz Jewish wine celebrating the New Year's Eve, so I was kind of down and out. Then we had that freak snowstorm going, 13 states? From the west to, from Texas and all that shit to the East Coast. Fuck that storm, man. My car died last week, this very day. About 5:30, 6 o'clock. I'm on my way home. 5 minutes. 5 minutes away. My car died. She finally gave up the fight and died. And if you have been following me on Instagram and Facebook, you know what I'm talking about. So, I've been Ubering for the past week, and that's been godly expensive. Then we had that snowstorm here the other day. Friday. Got jacked up the price on Uber even more. So, I did get a new car. But right now it's at the mechanics, getting new brakes on it because the brakes were pretty much non-existent. And I do not play in this fucking weather. I hate it. I don't play in it. Snow is for children and for people who don't drive. If you drive, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying. So I got a new car. More powerful, stronger car that actually has heat. But speaking of which, here goes my little portable heater. Christmas was alright. Wasn't the best, but it wasn't bad. I took the month off of December from doing any and all forms of magic. Divination, lower spell work, higher spell work, all forms of magic. I took a break and I said, I need to find myself. I need to reconnect to who I was and who I am, because Magicology, my friend and brother, and various other high level and long time practitioners and occultists will tell you that magic also involves psychodrama. You know, get into the groove, play with it, you know. But that's the thing. As I grow powerful in my magic, the more I got into the psychodrama. And my friend, the Psycho Sorcerer, Joseph March, just made a video about, you know, just basically cutting out the theatrics and much more, and just concentrate and focus, and then make it happen. So pretty much manifestation without the theatrics and fancy tools and all that. I'm not saying verbatim. I want you to go watch his videos on the subject. And you'll get the whole story. But that's what I took away from it. If I'm wrong, I apologize. But I got too invested into the psychodrama, the theatrics, because that's who the hell I am. I've always been a theatrical person. And honestly, it has been making my spell work kind of stagnant, but also very slow moving. Slower than it needs to be. Magic takes its own time because it's on its own schedule. It takes the path of least resistance, yes. But since I was more centered on the theatrics as opposed to, you know, concentrating, it was working, but it was just going even slower. Think of it as being stuck in the ethereal traffic jam. Think of it like that. So I took the time off to find myself, to reconnect. Stayed away majorly from all forms of magic, except for when I got the tarot cards with the Necromantia sorcery book. I have been playing with them on and off, testing them out, because that's going to be a big part of the review. And I did say that I was going to show the pictures of the cards, but I'm waiting till I actually get to the review to keep you anticipated. But yeah, I felt like I was taking on too much theatrics. I felt like I was taking on too many paths. So I needed to take the month off. I channeled with Ishtar. She told me to take the month off of December, destroy any and all sigil workings that I have through the Simon Necronomicon, and I cannot find 3, but Magicology taught me to say a spell prayer thanking the 50 names of Marduk that were involved, and to tell them that I appreciate their services, but please null and void these sigils. And that went over well. But I still can't find them. I know they're null and void, but I can't find them. I hid them really well. And I tried to get back to my path of the Simon Necronomicon, which, by the way, is not Lovecraftian. They tried to make it Lovecraftian, but if you actually read the Simon Necronomicon, you will find that there is very little Lovecraft in the book. Do you know why? Because Lovecraft sells. The Simon Necronomicon is one of Avon Books Publishing's best-selling book. Their cash cow. But if you actually take the time to read, you will find there is very little Lovecraft. Majority of the book is Mesopotamian Reconstructionism. But you have these big name witches and sorcerers and occultists on YouTube and TikTok and all that saying it's Lovecraft when they are 100% wrong, because they didn't do the one thing to prove that. They didn't pick up the book and read it. Had they read it, they would know that 95% of the book is Mesopotamian Reconstructionism. But no, they rather flap their gums on something they don't really know anything about. So they end up looking quite stupid and give out false information, when it can easily be remedied by reading. I've also been working on the Lamashtu and Lilith book by Michael W. Ford. This is not part of his Maskim Hall or Sabidi, but it does have great sources and great information on Lamashtu, which does coincide with Maskim Hall and Sabidi, which are the Luciferian add-ons to the Simon Necronomicon, as they're Mesopotamian entities and daemons and demons and gods and goddesses. And I know I said I was working with Lilith a while back, and I am. But in my gnosis with her, she told me to start in the new year. And I have been. I've been making great headway in the book, and I've been learning a lot. And I pretty much plowed through Necromantia Sorcery. Pretty much plowed through that when I got it. I took like a day and a half off. And then I picked it up and read the whole thing, and I was like, damn. So I am trying to find myself still, even though it's been 12 days in. I necessarily haven't really started my magic up again. I mean, I've been doing some light manifesting. And I've been learning and listening to the goddesses and gods and daemons and the demons that I work with. I've been listening to what they have to say about getting back on the track, because I came to the conclusion that when I started, my magic was more potent, because I wasn't really playing it up. I was doing it so straightforward. I would get out my table that I would use, my candles, my incense, and then I would get out the sigil and just go to it. And then I started involving the athame, and then so on and so forth. But it was so straightforward, and it was more potent. Here I am, and it's 15 years later. I'm too much into it when I need to be focusing on the other, like I said earlier. Now, if I can create a balance, that would be absolutely awesome. And I feel like I've actually learned quite a bit in this time off. And, yeah. I don't know what this year holds other than the bullshit that's going on in this month. But I will be letting you know that I'm going to give it my all. Once I finally get a grip on things, I guess. Because right now, at the time of this filming, I'm pretty fucking stressed out, so. But, that's all I gotta say. I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, comments, and or concerns, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. If you would like to come find me, my links are in the description. And with that, I want to thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. I love you all. Cool runnings. Irie Ites.